Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new episode. In this episode, we're going to talk with Anna from Anima, who works with animal rights. So we met at a conference in the Netherlands, and which was about like effective altruism. But then you have a few like animal rights people going around and so on. And I decided, that I wanted to talk with Anna about animal rights. Basically, we haven't talked so much about animal rights in this podcast so far. But animal rights is something that I really care a lot about, and which is what got me first into this like activism and altruistic journey, I can say, was actually animal rights. And it was really nice to talk with somebody who has been working with like communication in animal rights and been in the movement for like many years. So I was really happy when Anna said yes to talk to me. I guess that's it. Just want to say thank you again, Anna, for doing this conversation with me. I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward till we will meet next time, which is soon, because Anima International is hosting a animal rights conference here in Norway, and then Anna will come, so that's amazing. So yeah, for everybody listening and watching this is the conversation between me and Anna. Okay. Cool. Thank you so much for taking the time and inviting me here to talk with you about.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me to the podcast.
Amazing. So the topic is like animal rights, communication, your journey, and Anima as well. So I think, like you've been around in the movement for like around 10 years.
Yeah, more or less 10 years.
Okay, so yeah, you can go deeper into that. Like why do you care so much about animals, I guess?
Yeah, at one point I kind of figured that in my mind, kind of, I cannot no longer justify why we kill animals for food. So I stopped eating meat. At first, just meat. Then I went vegan, and I also felt that it's not enough for me. Like just to stop eating meat, I felt the urge to do something about the suffering of animals because it made me a little bit angry and frustrated that it's happening. So I joined this animal rights organization in Poland, Otwarte Klatki, and I started volunteering for them, doing many different things, coordinating a local chapter, translating, talking to the media, whatever was necessary. And at that time, I'm actually a professional translator by education and profession. I'm a translator. I was doing translations, and I figured that I spent a lot of time working, but the translations I was doing were mainly marketing translations for a software company that produced software that helped other companies sell more stuff. And I thought that it's not very. I spent so many hours not contributing to the world.
Okay, yeah.
So I kind of felt that maybe I could do something better with the time because I wasn't earning enough to be able to donate much money. So kind of the time that I had was more valuable. And when the opportunity arose, I started working for Otwarte Klatki, and I recently switched to this global organization, Anima International.
And when you say recently, that's also like
now, at the moment, it's happening right now.
Exactly.
I'm transitioning from this national campaign management position to this international, more into communications, language work.
Okay, yeah. So from national animal rights work to like international animal rights work, basically. Do you want to maybe touch on what Anima does?
Yes. Yeah. So Anima is actually a coalition of organizations. We have our chapters, member organizations in 6 countries in Europe at this moment. So we do corporate campaigns into layer hens and broilers. We also do some like food system transformation work to kind of, these are efforts to make the food system more sustainable and less reliant on meat and animal products. So kind of alternative protein, plant-based protein, innovation in this sector as well, and kind of helping companies move away from meat and move towards a more plant-based or alternative protein-based production.
Amazing. Yeah, like I've been a part of the Norwegian team a little bit.
Yeah, cool.
Or like been at some of the events and so on. And then it's one specific type of like chicken that we are like demonstrating for one specific like grocery store, I guess you will say, in Norway. And yeah, like that's been nice. So I know a little bit, but yeah, not that much, I think, especially not on like the international level. Yeah. So what will be like your main difference from working on international level to international?
Well, like different countries have different specificities, like have different characteristics. So we do different things in various countries. There's different focus. Internationally,
like, because were you communication manager nationally as well? Okay, so that
was like a different position. I was doing campaign management. I coordinated a group of volunteers, and we did a campaign. We called it the sports campaign. It was a plant-based campaign that used kind of the idea behind it was that it's way easier to talk about not eating animals to women than to men. So we kind of you can also see it in the animal rights movement. There's way more women than men. And so we kind of came up with this idea to, in order to reach a more male audience, so to say, it kind of combat the stereotypes about plant-based diet and concerning, like, I don't know, strength, like physical fitness. So we used sport as a means kind of to communicate about this. But recently I kind of evaluated and looked back on the campaign, and I think that when we started it like 6 or 7 years ago, it was like really good, but now I think it's time to move away from this kind of individual outreach, because it was still a little bit focused on individual transition. So now we're moving away from this campaign, to kind of move the resources to where they're more needed.
Ooh, and where are they more needed?
So I think as Anima is growing, because it has been growing for the past couple of years, we have been changing focus, and I think the animal welfare movement in general has been changing focus from like when I started, it was still a lot of individual outreach, like focus on individual change. There wasn't much thinking, I think, about like it was not enough thinking about the longer term goals. I don't think like it was only when we started thinking about like the actual numbers, because at that point it was probably easier to talk about animal rights in general, using kind of the animals that are the easiest to sympathize with. For example, like, I don't know, cows, because they're bigger, like they have very sweet, sad eyes, and it's easier kind of to for people to look at it as a sentient being that deserves kind of empathy or compassion.
Like instead of fish, for example. Really hard to.
And now I can see. I think also partly that's why I think like it's good that animal advocacy is a good match with EA,
which is effective altruism for people who don't know.
Effective altruism, because kind of now we're moving more into, I don't know, where we know that the suffering is the biggest. So the numbers of animals are bigger. Like, for example, layer hens or broiler chickens. There's like billions of them suffering basically all their lives, actually. So and then. Not to mention fish or shrimp or even like going further, wild animals or insects. So it is a process probably. And I think it's a good direction that we're thinking more about impact, about effectiveness, about what good we actually can do with the money or the resources that we have. So I think that's like the focus is changing for the entire movement right now. Which is good.
Interesting. Yeah, I hope so. Yeah. But it seems like especially when thinking about effective altruism and so on, but that like the movement in general, like getting better and like checking out what is actually making a difference, and trying to do that and not just only do what you yourself can sense make into like, oh, I think this is the most effective, which I can relate to very much when I first became vegan and so on. And I was just like screaming at everybody to become vegan, basically.
We've all been there.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, and we're not that many people working with animal rights. I feel. Do you have any thoughts around either like why that is, or like I was also earlier on this podcast talking with Tobias Lennart about like getting more people like into animal rights movement and so on?
Yes, so I absolutely agree that we need more people. There are more organizations now working in animal welfare or animal advocacy, but still I don't think it's enough because it's a huge issue and there's still so much we don't know. There are probably many questions that we haven't even thought about asking. So we need more people to ask these questions and to find answers to them.
Yeah.
And I also think that like we of course obviously we need the best people there are to work for animals because we want the best for the animals as soon as we can. And I think the animal rights movement is it's a limited pool of people. So there's like there are a lot of very smart people, but it's a limited pool, and we kind of have a lot of the smartest people already in the organizations, and we still need more. That's why I think the EA, like effective altruism community, would be really good for the animals if more people in the EA community got involved in animal advocacy.
Interesting. Also, like for like I can imagine, and I think that a lot of the people like listening and watching this and so on are people who care about animals. It might not be like their main like cause area that they care about, but for somebody who is like now thinking about like, okay, you know, like maybe I should think about getting a career or like studying something regarding to animal rights. Do you have any like advice or tips or thoughts?
My first thought after what you said would be that you don't actually have to be an animal lover to work for animals, I would say, or to kind of consider this an important cause area. Yeah, tips or advice. I would say that there are very, very different, like for example, in Anima, there are very different people. And you would think of an activist like as a specific type of person, but they're like really many different people. Like I was a translator and I'm doing like animal welfare work. Sure. So we have like one of our layer hens campaign managers actually almost ended up being a programmer, and now she works for the animals. Like so.
Yeah, that's interesting. There's like a really like a space for everyone. Like no matter like what you studied or what you're working on right now, like there is probably like somewhere those skills can be used.
Yeah. I totally think so. Skills in your smart brain, obviously as well.
Yeah, please bring your smart brain.
Yes, please bring your smart brain to Anima International. Yeah, we're actually going to be recruiting for a couple of positions soon. So to anyone who is listening or watching this, you can consider applying kind of to work in Anima or any like basically get involved in animal welfare and like wherever, like do something effective, do it with an organization that is effective.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you're interested in a career, we will be recruiting for a couple of positions. I think they will be published on the website and our Facebook page as well.
Yeah, I will always leave like the resources and so on in the description. So if you have like a job board or anything, and I guess animal charity evaluator, do they have a job board? Do you know?
I think they do, but these positions that I'm talking about, they have not been advertised yet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, so it's coming. Yeah.
It's coming.
So maybe when this episode is released, they're out.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe you can go and check in the bio. Yeah. Cool.
Do.
You said that you were a translator.
Yes.
And then you went into animal rights. So what was that shift for you? Like, why did you choose that shift?
Why did I choose to make that shift?
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, as I said, I actually love doing translation work. and I really miss this sometimes. I like to be around like languages, working with text and stuff. But as I said, it was kind of, I didn't feel that it is contributing. Like, it's so many hours a day. I usually worked like really a lot. And doing the types of translations that I was doing, I was like, am I contributing, or am I actually making the world a worse place? Because like it would just mean selling more stuff to people more efficiently.
Exactly. But why animals?
Okay, why animals? Okay. Yeah, I already kind of was volunteering for Otwarte Klatki then, and I actually never thought about making it a career, and I'm really happy that it happened now. Yeah. And actually now with this kind of international level position, I feel like it's actually the best at this point in time in my life. It's the best I can actually give to the world. I don't have anything better. I have my skills, and that's like the best I can give. So I'm giving it, and it makes me really happy.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Can I dig deeper? Like, but why animals? Like, because you could do this for like environmentalism or like humans or.
Yeah. So I did get a little bit frustrated about people not caring about animals enough. I could see that there's a lot of suffering. Like animals, farmed animals, they are basically born to suffer. Obviously, they are killed, and the numbers of the animals killed are very high. But it's not actually the fact that they are killed and how they are killed. It's how they have to live their entire lives, right? Because intensive farming, which is like where the most of farmed animals are kept, like very intensive farming conditions. It is optimized for a number of things, like cost effectiveness, like speed, the amount of product that they can produce. But this does not take animal welfare into account. So I think that if it wasn't for the animal advocacy movement, the changes for the better, for the welfare of animals would not be happening. I mean, I don't think they would be happening if it wasn't for us. Like all the movement to move away from cages, for example, I don't think that companies would do that on their own. Like, yeah, I think like the fact that I knew that animals suffer a lot, and I felt the urge to do something, and I also thought that not enough people were doing it. So that's why I got involved in animals. I did actually think about doing something for the people as well. But I just wouldn't have the time to do both, and I really wanted to do stuff for the animals, because I thought that, like, there's also, I think there was a study that I don't know where I saw it, but that it's easier for people to do something for people than for animals. Like, for example, to donate to people causes than to animal causes. And basically, usually people probably think other people are more important than animals.
You've been working a lot with animal rights, and in Anima, or in Norway say Anima, but I guess it's Anima, or no?
Is this even a word? I mean,
no, I don't know. Yeah, it's not a big deal. Anyways,
does it mean something in Norway?
No. It's just like animal without the L.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So
I had to double check there, but it is, yeah. But no, it doesn't mean anything. Does it mean anything international? No, okay.
Maybe it's Latin.
It could be, yeah. If people know, let us know.
So another thing Anima does, and I think I'm pretty excited about this. Like, we're based in Europe, all of us, right? And at one point we decided that there is not much being done about farmed animals in other regions of the world. So at first we recognized that it's not, like, Eastern Europe could use some more movement. So we opened branches in Ukraine and Belarus, and we also were present in Russia. We are no longer present in Belarus and Russia for the obvious reasons. We're still there in Ukraine. Our team are doing what they can given the situation. But there are also other regions, right, in terms of neglectedness, like Asia or Africa, where the movement is just like being built right now. So as we have been around for a couple of years now, we have like a lot of resources, a lot of know-how. We made many mistakes along the way, so we kind of learned from them. And this is something that we can share. So we have this movement building team, and they kind of work with groups that want to start doing something around animals or already doing something around animals in different parts of the world. And we share whatever we have with them. If there is something that they need and we already have it, why not share?
That's good. Yeah. Like we don't need any more like infighting or like that we're like really like fighting against each other.
I think it's really detrimental to the movement in general. And I love to see like different organizations working together in coalitions or just like generally meeting at a conference like this conference that we just attended in Rotterdam. And I really like to see this as a movement that is really like strong, resilient, and I hope it's gonna like be this way.
Yeah, like if you do, but like, do you have any like thoughts around or like tips around like how we can try to make sure that like we're staying friends and that we're that is like less infighting?
Well, do I have any tips? Let's just be like, let's not be assholes. This is actually one of requirements for our job positions. Not like you have to not be an asshole to work with us.
That like, it says it in the documents, like
it says, like, it isn't on the contract, right? But it says so in the job kind of description.
Oh yeah,
you cannot be an asshole, and I think it's important not to be an asshole to like not to be assholes to each other, but also I think when we're kind of for example, my work does not include being very close to animals. Like I don't have to watch pictures, I don't have to watch videos, I don't go and do investigations. So I kind of so sometimes it might be easy to kind of forget who we're doing this for.
Yeah.
And maybe like remind yourself every once in a while that you're not doing this for yourself. So maybe this would kind of help to focus on the like we all have the same goal. And how like we may have different ideas on how we want to get there, but we're still like doing this for the animals. Yeah, I think there's actually some revival of the very strict radical abolitionist kind of wing.
What do you mean?
I mean, have you been in the animal rights for a long time?
Yeah, 6 years.
Yeah, okay. So when I started working for Otwarte Klatki, and we kind of became focused more on effectiveness and on welfare, most importantly, that we stopped like kind of we started focusing more on like systemic change, welfare, rather than like getting individual people to go vegan. We actually got a lot of criticism from like other organizations or people who believed that by kind of working with companies to like increase the welfare and reduce the suffering was kind of betrayal of the animals, because we're working with the companies, with the business that inflicts this suffering on the animals. But
like, yes, like for example, if we were only going to collaborate with like everyone who is like 100% vegan, or like that's a weird term maybe, but like those who are like vegan and only the companies who only sell vegan products, that's like a really little piece of like the like humanity basically. And so I totally agree there and understand that like it's good to collaborate with those who are still in like the non-vegan world, you can say kind of.
Yeah, and it kind of also covers other aspects. Like for example, in Anima, we are politically neutral. So kind of, for example, in Poland, I'm from Poland, so it's easier for me to relate kind of to this context. Like we do not know which party is going to be in power in like 10 years. And we need kind of to work with everyone, because if we want to kind of introduce some policy or legal changes, we cannot kind of be restricted just to kind of the left-wing politicians, for example, or the ones that we totally agree with. We have to work with everyone, because again, we're not doing this for ourselves. We're doing this for the animals. And so this is also at the beginning when I started to get involved. I think there was also, because Otwarte Klatki is like a grassroots-based organization. Like it kind of grew out of 15 friends forming an organization to do investigations, and then it kind of grew and grew and grew, and now we're this international level organization. And I know that at the beginning there was also criticism of like not being very pure with who we work with, and not advocating just for this total complete end of suffering right now, because we know that it's not achievable. We would, as much as we would love to.
I really understand, and I think that's also a good time to remind of that. Like even in the animal rights movement and so on, that like we can become better in like sense making, I guess, and like asking questions of why people are doing what they're doing and so on, instead of like judging. And maybe like people like myself included, like don't judge, like I don't go into my head and try to judge others, but I think sometimes like automatically I'm judging and thinking about others, like, oh yeah, but I don't think that's so effective or something like that. And it's really easy to kind of stay in that lane, especially if the ones around you are like saying the same, or if you're only talking with the ones in your organization, right? So and about the judgment, especially like you said, there's this like kind of radical phase that you go through when you become vegan. Like you want to like kind of convert everyone, and you get angry that people eat meat, and you kind of feel you want to judge them. And what I do when I used to do when I kind of caught myself doing this, and I sometimes give this advice to other people, is I think about my mom. Like she eats meat. And I think she's a wonderful person. She's a good person. And I kind of think, okay, this person is doing this behavior, which I do not agree with, but this doesn't mean that it's a bad person. So I kind of try not to judge. Also, you never know like what's behind people's choices. Yeah. Oh, that's so
They're
true.
not in their head, right?
Yeah. Huh. And now I'm going to think more of my mom. Be
good.
like, yeah.
You should call her.
Yeah. And say, I know you eat meat, but I love you.
Yeah.
And then start cry. No, yeah. But
do you need the eye drops?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I also often think about like the younger version of myself as well, and being like, good. I don't hate that version. Like I really love to think about people as good people. I really hope, but that good people can have bad actions, and bad actions can come from a lot of different things. But like it basically on how we grow up, our society, what we watch on social media. Like,
do you believe that people are essentially good or essentially bad?
Essentially good.
Yeah.
Well, thanks. Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
For a change.
Yeah. Like, because I really think that like, even though people are doing bad stuff, like when they're just like shopping a lot of unnecessary things, they often do it because they think they actually will make themselves happy or somebody else happy, right? So then that's the beauty of like veganism and animal rights and so on as well. I think when you step into that, then you kind of expand your compassion because like most people love like their pets or like their dogs and cats and so on. And then when you realize that, like, oh my God, like you can have that compassion to like all animals. It can become too much, but like it's really beautiful as well. But it doesn't necessarily change you as a good or bad person, I would say. But of course, your actions, like, Did that make sense? I'm not sure if I think
it did. Cool. I just didn't know what to say to this.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Yes.
Makes sense. Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
I agree.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah. Any last thoughts?
I don't know if who will be watching this, but if there are some EA people watching this, please consider animal welfare in general, farmed animal welfare or animal welfare in general, a cause area that you might get involved with, be it by pursuing a career or like donating. There's also always like room for more funding to help us like do stuff faster and better. Yeah. And also, don't be assholes. I'm not assuming that you are, but no, this is stupid. People will think that I think that they are assholes.
I like it too. Yeah. The assholes won't like it.
Yeah. Like to the animal rights people, like work together. Together we can do so much more. I think like if we work together, communicate, we can like learn from each other's mistakes, support each other. And yeah, we're doing this for the animals, so we should do it together.
And what's next for you?
We have this dinner.
No, that's it.
What's next for me? I think I'm really in a really good place right now in terms of what I'm giving back to the world. And I think it's like I'm of good use for the animals right now. And I'm really excited about this, about continuing to work for farmed animals. I'm excited to see also what the other organizations are doing. I'm excited to see more and more being done about fish welfare as well. I'm actually pretty excited about a lot of stuff. I'm excited about the movement. I'm excited about it being kind of involved in EA as well. EA is being involved in animal rights.
Amazing.
Happy to be a part of it.
Cool. Do you have any like resources or tips for people to want to learn more about animal rights? So
we're building a resource library that is going to be available like to anyone in the movement who wants to, start an organization or use some of the knowledge that we have. And it's going to be like from the know-how, like for example, how to write a good press release to like very practical stuff like a website template, for example. You could like get it for free, like just ready template of a website. And a lot of other resources. I don't know when this will be launched. We'll actually probably be looking for a person to take care of this, like as a position soon. So this will be available to like anyone on Earth, I guess.
Amazing. And for the few people on Mars, I hope. Yeah. Or not? No, they gotta subscribe or something. Yeah.
No, I thought that Elon Musk is gonna kind of. He's planning to go to Mars soon or send people to Mars.
Yeah.
He could take our resource library as that.
Cool. That's so kind. I think you would appreciate. Yeah. Nice. Okay. Okay. Cool. I will also link that in the description if it's up now. Yeah. Or maybe it's in the job board. Like, who knows?
I'll find out.
Amazing. Okay. Do you have any other resources for like, which is like up now? Yeah. Like a book or a documentary or something like that
about animals. It's actually interesting because when I started when I became vegetarian and I started volunteering, and kind of thinking about doing stuff for animals, kind of being aware and learning about the suffering that is going on. It was super stupid. I felt that I am obliged to watch all the documentary videos of animals suffering. Like I owe this to the animals. And then at one point I decided like, this didn't make any sense. Why, how does it help animals that I watch this? I don't have to do that. It only makes me feel worse. So I wouldn't recommend like necessarily watching documentaries about the suffering of animals, of course. As for resources.
After you have turned vegan or before as well? Like when you...
When I watch them?
No. Like when you're saying you wouldn't recommend people to
Yeah,
watch
I mean, not
documentaries.
necessarily.
Yeah. Okay, but even if they don't know about what's happening. Or but I feel you. Like I know there are many people who it's like really, really hard to see what's happening.
Yeah, but then again, that's watching the that's fun. Like I feel sometimes that awareness of the suffering is not enough. I think it's kind of a little bit overrated to kind of keep raising awareness, because I think people know what's happening. Like maybe not the scale, maybe they don't know enough. But I think that the fact that people know that it's wrong is not enough for them to kind of change their behavior. Because otherwise, like, we would all be vegan, right?
Yeah, I hope so. Like, but I also think that like a lot of people just gotta view it from like maybe they gotta watch like a lot of documentaries or read some books or have like deep conversations with people who care about animals so that they can understand what it is. But
maybe I would say that the best way would be to get involved in the movement. Like,
cool. Yeah.
Talk with the people.
Nice.
Meet with the people, go where they are, and find out like what drives them.
Exactly, because you don't have to be vegan to join the movement.
Of course, yeah.
Exactly. Cool.
You don't have to.
Amazing. Thank you so much for all that you do and for all the years that you've been working for the animals. Since you mentioned it's actually not that many people who do it. So yeah, thank you for that. And thank you for taking the time to talk with me about today.
Thanks for inviting me.
Amazing.
Yeah. You should keep this. You should keep the laughing.
Yeah, that's nice. Thanks again to everybody listening and watching this, and thank you to again Anna. It was an amazing conversation. I really had a fun time. So thank you. And yeah, I wish everybody an amazing day or evening or morning or whatever time it is where you are right now. And then remember, if you have any feedback for the episode, please let me know. And yeah, again, remember to subscribe and so on if you haven't, if you like this kind of content. There will be more animal rights related stuff in the future. I think one of the next episodes will be with Tobias Leonard, for example, and yeah, there will definitely be more animal rights stuff here. So yeah, have a nice day.